Okay. 10.7 combinations. All right, let me get my, while y'all are writing that down, let me get my calculator. Okay, combinations. Now, yesterday you did permutations. It was the arrangement of things in a particular order. Remember that? An arrangement in particular order. This one is the selection of a number of items from a number of distinct items without, and I'm underlining that, without regard for its order. Now, you're probably sitting there wondering, what is the difference between combinations and permutations? Okay? You probably are. Probably. We're going to go over that, so don't you worry. I'll let y'all finish writing that. We're no longer talking about that. It's going to be a secret. Y'all probably going to learn to pay attention when you hear my voice. Now I'm going to start whispering the information.
That'll be fun.
Y'all's parents have no idea what y'all are like at school, do they?
Yeah.
They do?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know about that. All right, Michael, you got this? Okay, so yesterday we talked about permutations. It was the arrangement of a group of objects in a particular order, whereas combinations, there's without regard for its order. So not in a particular order. Let me put my notes back. I love you guys. Y'all make it fun to come to work, just so y'all know. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You make it fun to come to school.
Aww.
Oh, good job, Taylor.
Thanks, Taylor. That's so sweet. See, this is why I hate being in quarantine or distance teaching, because I miss all this. This is fun being with you guys. I hate being home and talking through a computer. Oh, Taylor, that's so sweet. Okay. Example. If you have 7 books and choose 3 to take on a trip.
I'm gonna take all 7.
Well, okay.
I would take all 21 of that one series in my room.
On a trip.
Yeah.
I can see you doing that.
You'll take
I have
21 out of 7.
Actually, it's 20.
Okay, so this is an example of a combination. So remember, permutation, the order was very important. Okay? Combination is random. You've got 7 books. You're just choosing, well, sorry, Taylor. You're just choosing 3 random. You can't choose all 7. And so there's no regard to the order here. You're just choosing 3 random. And that's what makes it a combination. Now, how you solve this is using this formula.
Triple star.
Where permutation had a big P and an N and R. Combinations has a big C. That's easy to remember, right? Okay.
Combination.
Now, what you need to know, and guys, I understand. Some of you have those calculators. But you have to understand not only how to plug the information in, which is really easy if you can figure out permutations, it's easy with combinations. But you've got to know the actual formula. For the test, listen to my words, you will have to know this. There's nothing on your calculator that's going to help you with this. So today when you're doing your homework, I want you to write out the formula or set it up, and then you may use your calculator to solve it, okay? But I need you to get used to it because, guys, let me explain something to you. On test day, 6 weeks exam day, if your calculator runs out of batteries, I'm not going to loan you mine. You will have to do it like everyone else. Taylor, what if you forget it at home? Didn't you forget yours at home
I
yesterday?
have no idea where it is.
Okay. Let's say you lost your calculator, okay? You're going to have to know how to solve these things with a regular calculator then, okay? So today, I didn't get, picky with you yesterday, but today I want you to write it out, and then you may use your calculator to solve it, okay? All right, so here's how you solve it. I want you to notice the difference between combinations of permutations. N factorial over R factorial times N minus R factorial. So
basically it's the same, you're just adding in an R
that's right. This right here would have been yesterday's permutation. Today is combination, and we added, you can move up. We added R factorial here. Okay? That's the difference. On your test, I'm going to give you like this right here, and you have to tell me if it's combination or permutation. You're going to have to know the difference. You think, that's easy. The only difference is that. Till I give you the test. Every year, I have kids miss that because they're overconfident.
You just look at me like you.
No comment. Okay. So let's go ahead. Oh, look, Taylor, I'm putting more stars. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve this one using the formula. So if I have my big old C here, remember what N is. N was your total. Don't forget that. N is your total. I'm going to write that there. Just like yesterday. So then what number would I put here for N?
7.
Very good, Cecilia. So then my R would be,
3.
there you go. So it's just like yesterday, and it's easy to get the N's and the R's confused, okay? But remember, the first one's N, and it's going to be your total. The R is basically what you're choosing. Does that make sense? Just like yesterday. Okay. So, N factorial, this is, and I'm going to write N and R underneath just so that I can keep it, right in my head. I have 7 factorial. R factorial is 3 factorial times 7 minus 3 factorial. So when you're doing your problems, I do want you to write this, and then I want you to write the next step. What is 7 minus 3?
4.
Okay, so I have 7 factorial over 3 factorial times 4 factorial. Are y'all with me so far? Any questions so far? Okay. So we're going to do this just like we did yesterday. Now watch what I do because this is different right here. I have 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. All over. Now here, what operation is taking place with all these numbers?
Multiplication.
What's taking place right here?
Multiplication.
So watch this. I'm doing 3 factorial first, right? 3 factorial, 3 times 2 times 1. Do y'all see that? And then I'm going to multiply it by 4 factorial. 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, before I move on, any questions about that? Makes sense, right? It's similar to yesterday. Any questions, Michael? Any questions? Okay, watch what I do. Don't jump ahead because this is a little different. We have more numbers than we did yesterday. Yes, we can go ahead and cancel those two out because, they're the same. But I'm left with these. So for note's sake, I'm going to rewrite this. 7 times 6 times 5 over 3 times 2 times 1. Do you see why I rewrote it? It's what's left. Do y'all see that? This is for notes, so make sure y'all writing this down. Okay, now, can we cancel something out?
Yes.
Let's look at, can 3 go into 6? So how many times can 3 go into 3?
Once.
How many times can 3 go into 6?
Two.
Y'all see that? It's kind of like, how we do cancellation when we're multiplying fractions and stuff like that? We do diagonal. Well, this is kind of the same idea. Is there anything else I can cancel? Right? Okay, Gabby? Oh, look here. I have a 2 and a 2. Y'all see that? How many times does 2 go into 2?
Once.
How many times 2 go into 2 here?
Once.
So isn't that nicer? 7 times 1 times 5 is what?
35.
And 1 times 1 times 1 is?
1.
So then my answer is 35. There you go. So it's a little more work. But y'all understand. Okay, so let me show you on the calculator. All right, so it's 7, C, and 3. So I'm going to do my 7 first because it's listed first. I do math. I go over here again, and look, do you see number 3 is the combination one? So all you do is press 3, or you can go down, hit enter, and then I put in my R, 3. Hit enter, and you get 35. So it's just like yesterday. All right?
I think there's a way to actually put in NCR without going to the menu.
Well, I don't know how to do that. So I'm not teaching that today because I have no idea.
I think I know.
In fact, I used these things, believe it or not, years and years, like 50 years ago. And when I started using this again, I had to sit there and figure it out. The difference is when I was using them, they didn't have YouTube videos that taught you everything. We had to read that big, thick book that comes with this thing, that you could spend a year reading it to figure out how to just do probabilities and stuff like that.
Was it the same calculator as that one?
It's similar.
So it wasn't a TI-84?
No, I don't remember what it was. But again, my point is, there's YouTube videos. So if any of you own one of these or plan on getting one eventually, if you're not sure how to do some of these functions, because this is like a computer, it's got a ton of different things it can do. Get on YouTube and Google it. I'm not Google. I cannot help you. I can help you on some things, but not a lot. All right, let's do another example. All right, here we go. Let's do combination with your N as 10 and R as 6. Again, let's go over the formula. It is n factorial all over, Izzy, what's on the bottom?
6.
No, girl, I'm just writing the formula.
R factorial times n minus r factorial.
There you go. See, I knew you could do it.
I almost drew a question mark because you were saying it like a question.
No, don't do that. Michael, now you fill in what all this stuff is. Tell me what goes on top. Factorial. And guys, I like to write a little N and an R just in case. Over what?
6 factorial, 5 parentheses.
Uh-huh.
Times 10 minus 6 factorial.
Very good. All right. You're on fire. Okay, so now I have 10 factorial over 6 factorial. No singing. What's 10 minus 6?
4.
Very good. Times 4 factorial. Okay, children, let's write it out. I have, ooh, it's going to be small. 10 times 9 times 8 times 7,
Small.
6, 5, I have to write small, times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. All over. Notice we're not doing 6 times 4, by the way. Do you know how many times kids will say, oh, 6 times 4, okay, 24. 24 times 23 times, okay, no, that'll give you a wrong answer. Okay, so let's do 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Y'all all better have this down. Okay, I'm going to make this easy on me. I'm going to do it a little different than the last example. So once you have all this down, put your pencil down so I know you've caught up, and then I'm going to show you a different way of crossing things out to make life, and I mean, it doesn't matter. If you do it right each time, then you're fine. Okay, I don't like big numbers, so I'm going to try to cross out as many as I can from the beginning. So I'm going to do this 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 cross out. See what I did there? So go ahead and cross that out. And over here, I'm going to rewrite it. I'm running out of space. So what I'm left with is 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 over 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So I rewrote it. Does everyone see that? I'm just running out of space. Now raise your hand if you can see something that we can do. Cecilia?
4 and 8.
4 and 8. 4 goes into 4 how many times?
1,
And it goes into 8 how many times?
2.
And guys, if you had seen something else, you absolutely can do that. Okay, Whit, you got one?
The 2 and the 2.
All right, so 2 and 2. 2 goes into 2 how many times?
2. 1.
Okay, 2 goes into 2. 1, good job, Whit. Okay, Izzy.
3 and 9.
3 and 9, how many times 3 go into 3?
1.
And how many times it go into 9?
3.
Is there anything else? Okay, so see, you can keep playing with this till you get it to where it looks better. So now you multiply across. 10 times 3 times 1 times 7. Raise your hand when you get it. Taylor?
21,000.
What?
270.
Wait, was it? That was 38.
Or no, it's
Gabby?
Yeah. 10.
210.
That's what I meant. I didn't.
Wait.
And then 1 times 1 times 1, blah, 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 is 1. So your answer is 210. Yes, sir.
Couldn't you also use the 2 to cross out the 10?
If you hadn't already crossed it out.
Oh,
So, like, for example, see that 2 right there? That red 2? instead of crossing these out again, you could have crossed it out with the 10. So for example, let me show you last year. I let my kids choose. That's exactly what they did. See, there's the 2. Y'all did 2 and 2 again to give you 1. But instead, they took this 2 and applied it to the 10, which gave them 5.
And it's the same answer.
It's the exact same answer. 5 times 3 times 2 times 7. 10 times 3 times 1 times 7. Same exact answer. As long as you, that's why I'm saying you can cross out and apply, cancel anything you want as long as you do it one time. Like you can't do 2 here and 2 here. Any order and you'll get the same answer. So on the calculator, so I have, first I put my 10, whoops, then I do math, go over here probability, and I'm going to hit 3 for combination, and then my R is 6, and I get 210. But guys, I'm telling you, those that have these, I need you to write as much down as you can so that you understand. Okay, let's do some work. Are there any questions, by the way? All right.
Now we're doing examples in the book.
I'm doing some examples. Open your books to page 430 and 431. Okay. Everyone look at page 430. Everyone there? Almost?
What's NCN?
Where are you at?
This is on page 430, NCN equals 1.
Where do you see that?
It's right above the state check.
Oh, don't worry about that.
NPN equals N. Not what is the exclamation point?
Factorial.
Factorial.
All right. Okay, everyone's there. I need, let's see, Aiden, read the directions.
Identify each of the following as a permutation or a combination.
Okay, so here now, you have to identify each of those as either combination or permutation. So you got to know which is which. So let's look at number 2. It says choosing 5 starters for a basketball team. Do they care about the arrangement or do they not care? Is it random?
They care about it.
They don't care.
Choosing 5 starters out of an entire basketball team. Do they care about the order of which they choose them? Okay, so that would be combination because it's random order of choosing. And the more we do with these, the more you'll understand.
So it's RNG.
Okay. 4, arranging 3 books, arranging being the key word, from a set of 6 on a shelf. Anyone? Gabby? Permutation. In this case, order matters. And it has that word arranging.
Not sorry.
So that's kind of like a clue.
Because you can't randomly
That's right.
organize something.
Exactly.
Unless you're me.
Let's look at 6 after you are done writing this down.
How many digits can the license plate have on the most?
It varies. So number 6 says picking a sequence of digits for a license plate number. Raise your hand. Wit?
Permutation.
Very good. Again, permutation. Order matters in this case. They said a keyword of sequence. That usually means they're being particular, like arrangement again. It's very similar to arranging. You got it, Cecilia? All right, 8. Choosing 3 friends from your class to accompany you on a shopping trip. Someone different than the people that are always raising their hands. Joanne?
Combination.
You are correct. It is combination because this is pretty random.
RNG.
This is just a random order. Sequence and arranging does not matter. Does that help? Any questions? Let me see here. Just a second. I'm gonna probably start assigning stuff because I think you quite understand. All right. One more thing. Taylor had mentioned. I can't even write
RNG.
RNG.
Random number generator.
If you remember yesterday, if you had for permutations, if you had this where the N and the R are the same, do y'all remember what to do with that?
5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times.
No. It would just be 5 factorial.
Which is what Whit was saying.
Oh, is that what you're saying? Okay, sorry. That would be 5 factorial. But in combinations, kind of like what Taylor was pointing out, if you were to have this, it would just be 1.
If it was 2 million.
So you need to make sure you write that down.
It would still be 1.
Yes.
All right. So look back. Look on page 431. If you notice, we've already done 2 examples. I think y'all understand how to do 11 through 20. Are there any questions about that? Y'all know how to do those, right? Because we've done some. Look at 21 to 32. Let's see. Michael, read the directions.
Label each exercise C for combination or permutation, and find the number of different ways each can be accomplished. calculator for large computations.
Okay, so 21 through 32, it's either combination or permutation. Okay? So numbers 21 to 32, either P or C. So you have to figure it out. Now, I'm going to be a nice person. I'm going to tell you what they are. So your homework is going to be, I'm going to tell you which ones are which. Because I don't want you doing all that work. Oh yeah, that was supposed to be combination. Okay? So I'm going to let you know. Your homework today is going to be page 431. You're going to be doing numbers 11 through 19 odd. And those graphing calculators, you're going to show all your work. Comprende? Okay.
No.
Or if you use normal calculator, not graphing calculator.
You still need to write it out. Okay? I want y'all to write it out today. Numbers 21 through 31 odd. And I'm going to write down. And y'all need to too. Oh, by the way, this is due Thursday. Let's see. So 21 is a combination. So you better write this down. 23 is a combination. 25, permutation. 27, combination. 29, combination. 31, permutation. So in your book, I'd write the C's and the P's next to those numbers. So all I want you to do, even though the directions say to, write if it's a C or a P, well, I'm telling you. I just want you to get to know the difference between them so that you recognize the difference. Pay very close attention to why one's a combination, why one's a permutation, okay? And then I want you to solve it, okay? Any questions? Yes, sir?
21 to 32, it's a pattern, CCP.
Oh, very good. All right, so your test is going to be a week from today.
Nice.
So next Wednesday. I'll write that down. And didn't I assign IXL? Yeah, IXL due Wednesday. So get started on that. All righty.